Hey there, Stash Wyslouch here. Welcome to Quick Tips. If you want private lessons, send me an email. If you like these quick tips, sign up for my Patreon. Best way to support the making of these videos. What's that slippery, slidey feeling you just got from listening to that? Chromaticism. This quick tip is an intro to chromaticism. Chromaticism is a lot of things. The way I'm thinking of it today is the use of sequences of chromatic notes, notes built in half steps, that approach or surround melodies, key melodic notes, and improvisations or compositions. So, by nature, they give you a kind of outside the key feeling, because if you have sequences of half steps, some of the notes are bound to be outside of the key that you're playing in. If I play 4 half steps in a row and I'm in a major key, there's a good chance 2 out of those 4 notes are not going to be in that key. It's going to give you an outside the key feeling. So what keeps chromaticism focused? It's that the sequences of chromatic notes always have a very deliberate target, which is centered in the essence of the melody or improvisation. So I just want to give one very basic exercise using the fiddle tune Cuckoo's Nest. Here's the A part of the Cuckoo's Nest, which is what I want to use today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. It's got some interesting chords. It's got some interesting target notes that could benefit from some chromatic embellishments. So, as usual, what we're going to do, we're going to skeletalize it a bit. See what these target notes are that maybe we could add some chromatic sequences to. So now let's strip away a lot of the notes. And I just want to play this tune as a skeletal whole note melody. 1 note per bar. So what do? I'm just grabbing beat 1 of each of the 8 bars in the A part. 3, 4. Now what are we going to do? We're going to approach every other one of those with 4 chromatic notes from above. So the first target note, beat 1, bar 1, is a D. So starting on beat 3 of the bar before, we're going to go 4 half steps above. Since the target's a D, we start on an F sharp and go down 4 half steps. We will not approach the second whole note skeletal note, we'll just play it. The next note we're going to approach chromatically is the C in bar 3. Remember, we're doing every other bar. How do you approach a C chromatically from above 4 notes? You start on the E, a major third above, and go down chromatically. The next skeletal note we will not embellish, it's a B. The next skeletal note is an A, which we will embellish with a 4 note from above chromatic approach. We start on the C sharp and go down. Then it goes to an F sharp, we will not embellish that. Back to an A. And then back down to a D that we're not embellishing. Here's the whole structural chromatic approach exercise. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again. Very cool. It's hard to believe if you've never done this kind of thing before. But this idea of approaching these target notes, kind of seeing them ahead of time and then making a melodic statement that reflects seeing it ahead of time, like a chromatic approach, it does slowly seep into your intuitive sense. You start to see things ahead, look ahead, and this is one of the huge things that we need to practice if we're improvising. It's a big part of seeing the forest from the trees. The next step I would do, looking at this as kind of an etude, is basically fill in the gaps that are not occupied by the chromatic approaches. So we'd have this, 1, 2. If you want to make this a really effective etude, my suggestion would be focus on that for a few days and bring the tempo up of it. See what it feels like to really put these chromatics into a melodic variation. Now we've just experimented with one kind of chromatic approach. There's dozens, probably hundreds, I don't know. There's lots of ways to approach this chromatic way of thinking. But today we just discussed one very specific approach. Break down a fiddle tune into quarter note, whole note skeletons. Chromatically approach every other one of the skeletal notes. Once you have that into your fingers, fill in the rest of the space that's not filled in by chromatic approaches with the regular tune the way you played it before, and see how it all blends together. Practicing chromatic approaches and approaching skeletal notes in general practices not only chromaticism, but also being able to look ahead in a form and a melody, a very important skill to develop on a very instinctual level if you want to be a good improviser. As always, I hope you enjoyed this quick tip. I hope you subscribe to my Patreon. I am still accepting private students online. Please send me an email, info@wyslouch.com, to get info on availability and rates. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Always a pleasure.